Thank you for explaining us the 108 names of Lord Shiva. In the 30th name, Tripura Tanka, destroyer of the Tripurasuras. Though the Asuras were living a very righteous life, still Lord Vishnu decided to destroy them because the Devtas told him that either it will be the Tripurasuras or them. And apparently the Devtas are needed to run the universe. But was it a fair thing to do?
So that story is definitely very strange, the Tripurasura story. And that story, this version is there in the Shiv Purana. There are more simpler versions which are there in other Puranas also. Tripurasura Vadha, it happens. In this Shiv Puran, there are a few points to understand here. See, at that point in time, when Devatas say that either it is Tripurasura or it is us, it appears as though they are doing emotional blackmail to Bhagavan and Bhagavan gave in to that. But what is the objective? What is the ultimate objective that is achieved? That is what we have to see very clearly. The ultimate objective, what was achieved? That Bhagavan sent Naradji there. And Naradji is an Ananya Bhakta also. Naradji tried to influence them. They got Naradji's satsang also. And for Devatas also, it became very clear that these people are Asuras and we are Devatas, but they have more power because they have done tapasya and they are devotees of Lord Shiva. And devotees of Lord Shiva are not defeatable by these Devatas. So they had to come to Bhagavan Vishnu. And even Bhagavan Vishnu cannot defeat them. That is the power of their devotion to Lord Shiva. That has to be glorified, number one. So even Vishnu Bhagavan directly is not able to do anything. He has to send Naradji and he has to do all kinds of things there and spread wrong notions. Then the people get, influenced by those wrong notions. And that is another point to understand there. That is from the seeker standpoint. That when we are following the path of sadhana, are we not seeing in society even today all those arguments that were created by Naradji to introduce materialism in their mind are all the arguments we see around all of us. A seeker must be very steady and very clear. It is a test of that seeker also. Because if I get influenced by that and then I follow the path of adharma, then what is my conviction? There is no conviction I have. And now somebody says, but everyone trusted Naradji and Naradji did this kind of a thing. Then a guru can always test in different ways. Guru can play the devil's advocate. A shishya can trust the guru. I'm not saying they were thinking of Naradji as a guru, but I'm just giving an example. The guru can always play devil's advocate and test the shishya, how much the shishya has understood that philosophy and how much is the conviction there, how much is the vairagya there. That was lacking there in some of them. So they followed the materialistic path. Third, we also see that these are positions. Devatas are positions and Asuras are also positions. And these Asuras, when finally Bhagavan Shiva, because the boon they have is only Lord Shiva can destroy them. Look at their prayer when they are to be killed by Bhagavan. They actually pray to Bhagavan and they say that, we are so thankful that we are able to see this form of yours and we have become a nimitta for this. Nobody else would be able to see this form of yours, including us, if not for this boon. That all the three have to come together and that right moment, Bhagavan was waiting for 1,000 years for those three to align and then he shoots and then they are killed. So before they die, they pray to Bhagavan saying, we seek more and more devotion to your lotus feet and please tell us when will we get a chance to again see you in this form. So the entire Leela is actually done to glorify Shivji's, glorify devotion to Shivji, to glorify the Bhakta's bhav, the devotee's bhav, and to test the conviction of the devotee, this Leela is done, and in and through that, Devatas are actually humiliated also. How? Because how much devotion these people have, the Asuras, Devatas should be having those. So it apparently means that Bhagavan went and, Vishnu Bhagavan followed whatever Devatas said, but it was not like that. It is another way of teaching the Devatas that you are supposed to be Devatas with divine qualities, but you are behaving in an Asuric way and they are having those divine qualities. So who is really a Devata and who is really the Asura? One has to figure out. Now, last point to understand here is, one may say that, but these Devatas got away with their karma. That again doesn't happen. Because when they are in this Deva Yoni, they have done some Punya karma, they have come up there, and engagement in pleasures, enjoyment is the purpose for which they have become Devata. By all the rites, rituals, Punya is got, and that Punya is wanted for the sake of enjoyment. So Bhoga Vritti. So in that form as a Devata, there are certain things only which will be negative, which they have to go through the negative karma. Predominantly is Punya dominant. Punya is more. So in that form, they will not get punishment immediately. But they are a jiva. So what we say in our culture, that when Punya exceeds Papa, then one becomes a Devata. When Papa exceeds Punya, one becomes an Asura. When Punya and Papa are almost similar, one becomes a human. So at some point, that karma will catch on with them. The result will also come to them. So these are different, ways by which one has to understand that story. It sounds very, very weird. There's no doubt in that. And one may even sometimes lose faith in Bhagwan and God and karma and all these things. But these stories have some different ways of explaining certain things.